Speaker, media reports from last night have raised concerning questions about the Premier's standards for cabinet ministers. According to multiple reports, a female staffer working for the then opposition Conservatives came forward with a complaint of sexual misconduct concerning the Minister of Finance. And according to one report, she was paid a financial settlement shortly thereafter and signed a non-disclosure agreement. Was the Premier aware of this, and if so, what action has he taken?
Premier.
Well, through you, Mr. Speaker, there was a thorough third-party investigation. There wasn't a shred of evidence whatsoever.
Members, please take their seats. Supplementary.
The Premier stated emphatically this week that he has zero tolerance for sexual misconduct and that he will always act decisively to deal with it. So will the Premier allow for an independent investigation of these allegations? It seems to us that, and others have said the same, that when there's a non-disclosure agreement, there's obviously something there that people don't want to have disclosed. So I ask the Premier, will he have an independent investigation called and ask the minister to step aside while it's being conducted?
Premier.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, and to the Leader of the Opposition, I have 100% confidence in Minister Fedeli. I stand beside him shoulder to shoulder. He's a man with honour. He has integrity. And again, a third-party investigation took place, which the Leader of the Opposition was well aware of, just playing politics. But what I find ironic, that you would actually take a person, in my opinion, has zero credibility, Patrick Brown, that lacks credibility. Is shameful that the NDP are siding with someone that would go after and claim that one of our ministers, when they came out publicly and said she had mental health issues, you would actually believe a person like that? You would actually take that person's side? That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting that you would side with someone like...
Once again, I'll remind members to please make their comments through the chair. Start the clock. Supplementary.
Last week, the Premier said that any staff person who comes forward will be protected and that he would take any allegations seriously. Reports indicate that serious allegations have been made. Will the Premier allow for an independent investigation of these allegations and ask the minister to step aside while it's being conducted?
Through you, Mr. Speaker. Serious allegations? Serious allegations from Patrick Brown?
Wow.
You got to be kidding. With zero credibility, you actually have the nerve, Mr. Speaker, to come in here and actually throw these accusations? A person that attacks people that come out and say they have a mental illness issue, and that, what message does that send across the province? What does it say when someone has the courage to come up and speak out and have a challenge? Why isn't the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Speaker, standing up and supporting our minister? That is absolutely disgusting. I'll tell you what Patrick Brown's done. He's brought a super strong team together, even stronger. We're even more united than we've ever been. But Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition knows there's zero evidence. Zero evidence. The media came out, said there's not a shred of evidence, and I find it absolutely shameful and disgusting. She would even bring this up in this.
Order. Next question, the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to return to the Premier concerning his expectations and standards for his cabinet team and the message that sends to the province. Over the last 2 weeks, there have been serious questions raised about how the Premier handles complaints of sexual misconduct. As the Premier has stated, all complaints need to be dealt with seriously. They also need to be dealt with transparently. Why is the Premier unwilling to call for an independent investigation into these serious allegations?
Well, again, in case the Leader of the Opposition didn't hear me 4 other times, there was a thorough investigation with zero evidence. And when the media even comes out yesterday and said there's no evidence, I'll even listen to the media. But for the Leader of the Opposition to bring this up in the House and start playing politics with someone's life is pretty serious. I stand shoulder to shoulder with my Minister of Finance every single day. I'm proud that he's there. I'm proud of the hard work he's done. He's turning the province around, and I can't wait, Mr. Speaker, to hear the fall economic statement. The mess that the NDP put us into, the Liberals put us into, we're still going to be working through that. Shameful, disgusting, and you should be apologizing.
Supplementary.
2 weeks ago, the Premier said that the member for Simcoe Grey had left Cabinet and the PC caucus for health reasons. Then it emerged that he, in fact, was asked to leave following an allegation of sexual misconduct. The Premier then claimed that he would take all allegations seriously and urged people to come forward. That seemed to be what happened in this case, but the Premier is saying he refuses to take these particular allegations seriously. Why is the Premier refusing to call a transparent, independent investigation whereby the information is given to all people who are interested, because this is the Minister of Finance that we're talking about, Speaker.
You, Mr. Speaker. This just shows the lack of integrity in this House. It shows the lack of integrity through the Leader of the NDP. These accusations, again, that happened a long time ago, was thoroughly investigated by a third party. Zero evidence came out. There wasn't a shred of evidence. And again, to politicize this, and listening to a guy like Patrick Brown, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Someone that wants to attack someone and saying that they fake mental illness?
Whoa.
You know, you got to think about that. Leader of the Opposition should look around this room. Maybe other people have so-called faked it. You know, that's a serious, serious accusation. And you know something, you want to talk about credibility? There is no credibility on the other side of the opposition.
Supplementary.
Speaker, over the last week, the Premier has been evasive about the standards that he expects from Cabinet ministers and staff. But this is a serious allegation that requires a serious response. The allegation isn't just one of sexual misconduct, but that the PC caucus used public dollars to buy someone's silence. Will the Premier allow for an independent investigation of these allegations?
I have to ask the Leader of the Opposition to withdraw.
Withdraw. The allegation isn't just one of sexual misconduct, but that public money was used to ensure that this information didn't come to light. Will the Premier allow for an independent investigation of these allegations and ask that the minister step aside while it's being conducted?
Premier. Side, come to order.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, again, Minister of Finance has integrity. He's a man with honour. He's a man that's fighting day in and day out to clean up the mess the NDP and the Liberals created in the last 15 years. The NDP voted 97% of the time of the Liberals to destroy this province, and I won't stand here for a second to listen to the Leader of the NDP throwing stones in a glass house. Patrick Brown has as much credibility as a rock.